rarity around this time of January. And off we go in East Lansing. Will get us rolling here. Their point guard, former Michigan Miss Basketball, gets it on a handoff from Ayrault.
You see Maryland, they're going to play a lot of different kinds of defense. They're going to play man-to-man. They're going to switch 1 to 4, 1 to 5 at times, but they're also going to run some zone, which is what that looked like on that possession, some matchup zone where they're in a full scramble.
Christy, Maryland fans are just happy to be playing some hoops today. We tried to have a basketball game a couple of days ago. They were at home against what was supposed to be a game against Purdue, but there was a roof leak at the Xfinity Center that started taking place within the hour prior to the game. It was ultimately postponed until this Sunday. So because of that, they've had a week off since their last victory over Minnesota in Big Ten play.
Right, that game will be on Sunday at noon in College Park, and it will be broadcast on Big Ten Plus.
Shot clock winding down, and McDaniel gets it to Kubik. And this will be a travel. Brenda Free said she had never experienced anything like that before. And look at how long she's been coaching. The Caitlin Clark game-winning step back heard around the world. And Robyn Fralick said the resiliency in that game. And if you watched it, you could see it on film throughout. There were far more positives than negatives to take away from that loss to Iowa. Now 1-2 in Big Ten play. Key part of their success in 11 wins this year has been Julia Ayrault.
Well, like you said, resilience is always the key.
Yeah, they really battled their hearts out on that one. Shot clock winding down on Sellers. Didn't matter. Able.
She needs to look to attempt at least 3 or 4 shots per quarter at minimum.
How about the players wearing number 0 today? Hageman and Sellers, the agent zeros on both sides as Kimball lost it there. And here's one of the number 0s.
That's a matchup that I wanted to talk about all game long because that's why we started with it. Because you have 2 players who mean so much to their respective ball clubs in terms of what they do and not just scoring ability. And for Michigan State, defensive transition. Maryland wants to push tempo, and for Michigan State, make the extra pass. The Spartans lead the conference in assist-to-turnover ratio with 1.8 per game. So that's something that Brenda Free was talking about as well. They love to get downhill, get into the paint, spray the ball out for 3s.
Hageman came up short. There's that rebounding from Maryland that you talked about that can spark this if they crash the glass. McDaniel, blocked from behind by Hageman, but the follow-up from Jakia Brown-Turner.
I had such a great chat with Bree McDaniel today. Only a sophomore, but she said, listen, I've worked so hard to get myself in condition, and I take so much pride in the defensive effort that I put forth. Brenda Free has called her the best defender on the team, and that's high praise.
Here she is, going to really be an X factor for the group this season. Jakia Brown-Turner down low.
But not a lot of in-between players, so there's a lot of meshing of the minds when it comes to leadership and experience deep into postseason.
Player at the point guard spot. Cheyenne Sellers has stepped into that point guard role as
Myers, and she was picked 10th in the WNBA draft as well to Dallas. And of course, Diamond Miller, a spectacular rookie with the Minnesota Lynx last season.
Got a Rookie of the Year type season.
She was 2nd.
Halleck barreling into the lane. Talk about improved players this year. Theron Halleck right at the top of that list. Her freshman to sophomore jump has been awesome. And Michigan State does a lot of this. They turn people over.
Had a miscue on the back end of it.
The mindset you want for Maryland just wasn't quite there execution-wise. There's the block at the opposite end by Jakia Brown.
Out of bounds. Big block.
Ayrault, her 2nd bucket. They started that game up 8-0. They had a lead at halftime, but it was the runs back and forth that hurt them a bit. Massonis, another veteran on this Maryland team with the shot clock winding down and a veteran move.
That's why they call her mom, because she can make a way out of no way. Faith Massonis, that was big-time top.
The opposite way, got to watch out for Dee Dee Hageman in transition.
She's shifty.
And a travel called there on Lavender Bridge.
Just means so much for this team in terms of her experience level, but also her ruggedness and her ability to be flexible with her role.
Right out of the gate.
They're going to switch 1 to 4 defensively against Maryland.
Good closeout on Sellers.
And she's had to work against that.
The opposite way, Joiner has definitely risen to the higher starts of the scouting report as well. And
I think that's why there was no travel on that particular play.
Sellers tried to sneak a feed through the lane.
Just under 6 assists, 6 boards. And her offense comes in waves, right? Initially, her freshman year, she was just all inside, getting downhill. And a lot of watch lists, too. Lieberman and Wooden Award list as well.
Travel called this time on Brene Alexander.
With their defensive ability to stop those gaps.
And Christy, was Moira Joiner, who we spoke to earlier today, that was on defense there, and she pointed it out to us as well.
Yeah, she said we have to take pride on the defensive end. And that's what they're doing. Out of the gates, turning Maryland over several times so far.
It's McDaniel here in transition and a blocking foul called.
The Nebraska game, they lost that game, turned right back around and beat Minnesota. The team needs for me to be a disruptor on the defensive end. And I take pride in that.
The Spartan team can really hit the threes when they get that extra pass rolling, but they don't force it. Here's a nice backup from Hageman. Whips it out. Ayrault, there's the three they were looking for. A bit strong. Nearly stolen, but McDaniel able to get it, and she has been a force. I want to see her coming at you in transition.
I don't. I would want to see her.
Big Ten Plus delivers thousands of similar style of play, similar on the scoreboard right now. 1 point separating these teams. Final half minute of the opening quarter. Shot clock dwindling on Michigan State, and they gave it away again. And look who it is again. McDaniel. She'll pull it out.
Smart play there to get a quality look here as the game clock is under 15 seconds. Looking for a high ball screen action for Sellers. Try to get her downhill. They're going to switch it.
Springs a three for Alexander. Wide open. Cans it to give Maryland the lead. To conclude a fun back and forth opening quarter of action. Man, they had 11 points off turnovers in the opening quarter. Forced a lot by Bree McDaniel with the ball right now. Able to chisel her way through bodies and finish off the window.
How about that?
You said she'd be an X factor. She's leading all scorers so far in this game. Alec, quick whip out feed. Ball movement for Michigan State has been exquisite this season. Rough start today from three, just 1 for 6 from deep. What a rebound there from McDaniel. How
about the toughness on that play by McDaniel?
Chicago toughness. Meanwhile, leads to three at the opposite end. Brene Alexander. Hageman moving quickly the other way. And now foul called against Maryland.
Now, quite a quandary in terms of her rotation. That's very slim.
Presented by CDW. Tonight at 11 Eastern on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Our doubleheader will be Michigan and Minnesota. Saw Halleck there on the bench. She's also just such a pesky defender.
Yeah, no, she's flat out. Yeah, flat out tough. I mean, plays with a chip on her shoulder and has a lot of experience as well.
Halleck, you're right. Now, Sellers, what do they call here? Travel. Take your poison. We'll take a travel call if you're going to turn it over.
Yeah, that was really close to being a charge, though. Wow.
All of a sudden, with how much it feels like Michigan State has struggled over the last 6 minutes or so, they're only down 5. This could trim that. It does. A three from Joiner. Back to Alexander. More in rhythm. Look. Both teams in a drought right now. The game has been like a wave. Up and down we go. Up and down the floor goes Hagen.
So Faith Massonis is going to set up this Iverson action with the guards going through.
Jumper goes down.
Overforced.
Osmond wanted a foul. Hageman takes a three. Another tough look for Michigan State. More transition ball for Maryland. This might be what they need to do. Riley Nelson.
As a youngster.
Yeah, she loves that her family can come to the games. Got a great trio in there for you with Rick, Autumn, and Shimmy back in Chicago.
So you see her back here talking defensively.
Third straight possession for Michigan State with a really, really tough contested look.
Nice fold over there by Faith Massonis. So Nelson clogged the area and she couldn't get all the way to the rim.
And Massonis, as you said, the mama.
Bump off right there. Here's that matchup that we like. Hageman tries to get it to the corner, taking away driving lanes from Michigan State so far here in the first half.
Spartans are 1 for their last 10 from the field. They haven't scored in over 3 minutes.
Back screen, ball screen. And UCLA action from Maryland on this one.
Lansing, the freshman, hits. 6 seconds for Hageman. She can get up the floor in a hurry. Oh, she slips. Tate got back in the play. At the buzzer would have counted. They're 7-0 and leading at the half. They're up by 7, and they ended the opening half on a 7-0 run. And they'll get the ball to begin this third quarter here in East Lansing. Good to see Bree McDaniel on the floor.
Yeah.
Just had a fun conversation with her good friend Dee Dee Hageman and put a nice move there, but couldn't finish. The Spartans now out of the break, cleaner offensively than they were at the tail end of that first half, but credit Maryland a lot defensively. That's more of what you want if you're a Spartan fan.
Absolutely. They were anemic there to close that second quarter on the offensive side. Couldn't find success, but give credit to Maryland. Michigan State turned that ball over 8 times in that first half, and Maryland, they were able to score 11 points off of those. So if they can keep track of that basketball, they're not shooting the ball poorly. They just need quality touches on the offensive end.
And the rebounding was a really important aspect of your pregame keys, too. That time, Bree McDaniel's work led to a second-chance bucket for Faith Masonis.
Well, there was a 6-2 advantage in second-chance points in that first half by Michigan State.
Nice drive there from Dee Dee Hageman.
And that's what she does well, and that's why she's first option on the offensive end. And I know Joiner leads the team in scoring with 15, but Dee Dee Hageman is the head of the snake when it comes to the attack mode mentality for Michigan State.
Said she feels like all the hard work she put in the offseason, preparing her for moments like this one, trying to lead a comeback for her team. Tate taps away the board, then some nice balance on the baseline to keep that in bounds.
Super hustle there by Tate, tight roping that baseline to save the possession.
Got a foul called here on Maryland. Looks like they got Sellers.
Let's take a look here at Michigan State and see what they're going to try to get into. Rejection of the screen by Hageman, but just couldn't pay it off on the bad play. It was a good play, we just didn't execute it.
Spartans down just 5. It feels like they definitely want a lot of plays back that they could have executed. Jakia Brown-Turner couldn't finish there.
She's a lefty, so she tried to get back to her left hand, even though I thought she had the advantage on the right side.
Speaking of a left-handed shot, nice lefty move.
Hey, and Dee Dee Hageman has said just as much. She said that she's allowed for us to play free. I mean, do your job, right? And impact the team in a positive way.
See if they can replicate that in the second half. Meanwhile, Lavender Briggs still looking for her range in this game. Had been coming off 2 really good offensive performances. Tate pushing it with Hageman. Really good dynamic duo between the two of them in the backcourt. Nice reverse layup from Moira Joiner. Her minutes have been immensely valuable today for the Terps.
You see Maryland trying to slip the switch defensively. What Michigan State did right there at that elbow with Masonis.
Oh, what a fade there from McDaniel. She's guarding Ayrault here. Ayrault up 6'2", McDaniel 5'10". Ayrault uses every inch of that 6'2" height.
She did, but McDaniel was right there and tried to wall her up, but just a better shot by Ayrault.
The other way, got to get back. Oh, a bunny that's missed by Masonis, then tried to take the rebound away from Ayrault, stretching out her leg. Look at that last sequence.
Bree McDaniel right here, a little turnaround fader. Ooh, show it and go the other way. Boom, all net. That's just slick. And then Ayrault right here showing why she has been so tough down there in the trenches. And she's limping off now. Hopefully she's okay. I don't know what happened there.
She's worked so hard in her career to get back from injuries. Missed the 21-22 season, then returned last year, and has really gotten back into a groove this season. But it was just on the sequence, and the leg got turned up a bit underneath there.
Oh, shoot. And you said, she has a rod in that right leg.
Yeah.
From that injury that she missed that season a couple years ago, and you can just see her wincing in pain there. Hopefully that's not anything serious.
She is such an important presence for them. Had a career-high 32 points against Coastal Carolina in late December as McDaniel gets called for, it looks like a carry there. And Ayrault is moving on her own weight on that bench.
And sometimes that's a little frightening, especially if you've had a previous injury there.
Yeah.
And then you kind of have it all flash back to you.
She had 16 points, 8 rebounds against Iowa. Joiner, nice quick first step, floater, and Michigan State ties the game.
That's a big bucket.
for Sellers, didn't matter.
I don't know how Cheyenne Sellers got that one to drop in the bucket to quiet the crowd here at the Breslin Center.
Osmond couldn't hit. Spartans have not hit from long range today, just 2 of 16. Snap feed the other way, on the move.
Alexander just rushed that one, heard the defense behind her, and tried to get it up there quickly.
3-on-2 for the Spartans the other way. Alec, there's a 3 that goes down. Momentum shifting once again. Tate trying to take it away. 5 on the shot clock for Maryland. Can Sellers get you a bucket again? And look, Ayrault's about to check back in, so great sign for Michigan State. Their presence down low after that scare when she went down. Foul called. Looks like they might have gotten Kubik. School night today, though. But they're still here.
It's so cute. She had a chance to watch her 10-year-old son Will play in a couple games over the weekend, so that's always fun for moms.
Well, you know what that feeling is like, watching your kids play. Bucket there for the Spartans out of the break.
And that's what you want to see, execution, especially when you had it on the whiteboard. Even if it breaks down, you can break a play to make a play sometimes, but you have great spacing, and that's what happened on that last possession.
Ayrault with a bucket and a rebound after she returns. You see how important her presence is. Good to see her back in the game. Thought about a 3.
You just have a sense that Michigan State has been more aggressive here offensively in the second half, and that's why they have garnered the lead. You just have a sense that Michigan State has been more aggressive here offensively in the second half, and that's why they have garnered the lead.
And it was a halftime conversation that took place after.
And they have taken ownership in being that for the team. And there's nothing you can really can't take it away from them. It's really powerful.
Both of them on the floor.
Yeah, Alec was 1 for 15 from 3 in the last 4 games, but was able to knock in one earlier.
Nice move down low in the post. Back to a 2-point game.
Emma Chardon, a player from Maryland who was supposed to be playing in the post.
You mentioned Halleck. She'll go to the line here. From the same city.
How she was talking about how she had mono her first year, had to miss a lot.
Another close game. Lost on a buzzer beater to Caitlin Clark and Iowa in their last matchup. This is a foul. A team that leads the conference in assist to turnover ratio.
And just under 2 a game, 1.8 for them in that regard, but they move the basketball very well. They usually run a 4-out, 1 in as they're trying to get right there with Ayrault off the mark.
Maryland pushing now, on the move, Sellers. Good job to stay straight up. And then a foul called.
Sellers difficult on the move.
For Eastern, only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. And that press for Robyn Fralick, that dates back to her early days as a head coach.
And they like to blitz, rotate, and then blitz once again, but Maryland's doing a good job to only be trapped once out of it so far.
And Terps once again cash in after breaking that press. Sonis, now Halleck quickly moving the other way.
Coaches know what they need to do to stop opponents.
Got the hand up on Sellers. It looks like Osmond was fouled.
Career struggle with injuries, but another really solid leader for the Spartans.
Much like Ayrault, she returned last year after missing all of the prior season with an injury. She said there's probably more people in the gym this year than any of her prior years in East Lansing.
Yeah, but Michigan State has 3 players down now, so they have a lot of injuries. A short rotation.
And Daniel continues to cook. Spartans up 5. Big couple of possessions to end this third quarter. And Halleck snuck her way around all of the traffic, but then she'll want that layup back. So now you got 5.8 to work with here for the Terps. And a foul called and free throws coming up. Sends Sellers to the line, where she's been excellent this year, 84%.
For her career from there, top 4.
Now still 4 seconds for the Spartans. 3-point game. Halleck used her speed. That is off the mark. And we got a 1-possession game, Christy, going to the 4th. Yeah.
You can't foul, right? You have to stay locked in. And that's what Michigan State is dealing with right now because of the injuries. Short rotation on that bench.
Margin for error is so much slimmer, right?
Yeah. Because you don't want to come out. You don't want to be the one that has to take a seat. It's like musical chairs.
Spartans outscored Maryland 24-14 in the third. Sellers got her own board and cashed in.
As she should. Staying right with it. Joiner tried it, but Masonis did a good job there of containing that elbow area. Didn't allow her to turn the corner and get into the paint.
That was veteran on veteran, grad student against grad student. A nice wraparound feed after some athletic balance along that.
To Ayrault, who found herself on the inside of the defense.
Awareness that continued to play that could have been over if she didn't have that awareness. McDaniel cashes in on a mid-range jumper.
To McDaniel, who just had to catch it and pop it.
McDaniel went down hard off a screen. Tate finds Hageman.
Let's take a look here. Let's see what Michigan State's going to do defensively. Here's that matchup we love, Sellers and Joiner. Rub screen right here.
Ayrault called for the reach in.
One guard dribble a ball for the entire possession, and then now you're in grenade mode. Make the extra pass. Both teams did that fantastically well.
The team has been one of the best in the conference all season when it comes to assists. They've had to score in different ways today, though, because the threes haven't really gone down, but that one does. They
know what an impactful presence she can be for this team, especially down the stretch here in clutch time.
McDaniel slithering in. How about that? And flexes on him.
Ooh, the swag is phenomenal right now for Bree McDaniel. All game. I mean, she came out of the gates like that. There's nothing that she had to build up to. She was ready.
Fifth tie of the game. And there's our sixth lead change. Christie, as the moments continue to increase in importance, we're starting to see more of a back and forth versus you have a run, then I have a run.
Yeah, and these wheels on this chair are no friend to me.
Yep. They're trading buckets. 1 point game.
Bree McDaniel is having a lot to say.
The extra pass. They love this in the Michigan State offense. Turns into 3, number 6 of the day for the Spartans as Halleck cashes in. To the freshman, Riley Nelson. Looked like she did a 360.
And the physical ability to finish. She'll get that. And it's go time right now. You got to lock in defensively, and that's what you see Maryland doing. Bump off right there, switching 1 to 4. Bree McDaniel broke the plane of verticality. That's what you do. You continue to attack it.
Goes 2 for 2 at the free throw line. Now Sellers, bounce pass. Masonis is able to hang on, but an offensive foul called. They've had a week to think about that and want to get back on this floor. And now come back today to take what is now a 6-point lead. Brenda Freeze directing Maryland to get into their offense. McDaniel doubled, drew a foul.
Momentum headed to the basket, and that's just where she put the ball. Bree McDaniel, everybody gets a bandana or whatever for the win. She wants that. She takes pride in her defense. That's the one I wish more people would circle to beat.
Right.
Be the best defender.
She stopped Hageman there, whips it out. Spartans have been heating up from 3. There's another one that goes down. Moira Joiner gives the Spartans a 7-point lead.
The horn set here for Maryland, trying to create some space, trying to get Cheyenne Sellers downhill. You saw Masonis slipping that action.
Oh, and one coming up here.
I mean, she has evolved into such a staunch leader for this team. You see, she sloughed off right there. Just keep the ball in front, she said.
There's the slip that you were talking about earlier, and it led to a blocking foul. 85%. Missed the first one, though, to keep it. She goes 1 for 2. Point taken.
Here we go. There's clutch moments right now for Maryland. They need a big bucket.
And they get one from their leading scorer. Cheyenne Sellers, 3-point game. Maryland's won the last 7 against Michigan State. Spartans have a 3-point edge with 80 seconds to go in regulation.
Oh, Hageman putting on a display right here.
Joiner with a head fake. And a blocking foul. That's a big... I didn't say anything that time. One of the points you made earlier, Joiner would have a great game, and she has. And the Spartans are up 5. Big possession for Maryland here. Sellers right at Joiner, and they get a foul call. 85%. Don't forget Wolverines and Gophers up next on Big Time. Sellers goes under a minute to go. If you're Maryland, don't need to foul yet.
And again, a 4 out, 1 in. Ayrault being the one inside, guarded by Alexander. Hageman just milking that shot clock down to about 8, and then they're going to get into their primary action.
Looking for that slip again.
There it is.
Hageman ultimately to Joiner. Now Ayrault. What a progression on that possession.
That is so important for teams to be able to share the basketball. We all win when the ball is passed around.
So now Maryland need a bucket here, and they get a foul. She has come up with the big buckets late and getting to the line late.
Go for a quick steal first, though.
Yep, they press, but then Hageman gets fouled before they could get it in bounds. Misses the first, so a big miss for Hageman.
Still a ton of time on the clock to make a quick play, especially with Bree McDaniel with her wheels.
The second goes down. That is huge to make it a 2-possession game, barring a 4-point play.
We just don't know which one yet.
Let's see who does. They ultimately find Sellers. Sellers, that's a 3! Off the mark. Joiner, the board. She's an 88% free throw shooter. And Bree McDaniel fouls out. What a day for her. 20 points. Now Joiner trying to get Michigan State one step closer to their second Big Ten win of the season. And what will be a huge bounce-back win for the Spartans.
For McDaniel, it was a career high. Her previous career high was 19, so solid for her. But now it's all on Cheyenne to see if she can get downhill here for a quick bucket.
Alexander, a 3, and it goes down. This game's not over yet. 12 and a half seconds. Maryland needs to foul, and they do, but about 3 seconds got taken off. Spartans continue to have a good day at the free throw line. Their 18th free throw make of the day is a big one. Maryland has no timeouts. 9 seconds to go in this fourth quarter. They'll have to go, and they're down 5. Feels like you need a quick 3 here. Sellers going for that quick 3. Couldn't hit. And a Michigan State team that had a week to think about losing on a game winner in Iowa City a week ago bounces back 7 days later with a huge home victory.